You wake each morning as if by command. Breath returns to your lungs without your bidding. The sun rises not because you deserve it, but because it must. The order of the world is not causa, it is design, and you, though small, are not without purpose. What stands before you? Why put pain, joy, confusion, clarity are not accidents, they are appointments. If a storm visits your life, it is not because the gods are cruel, it is because they know your roots are strong enough to hold. You may not see the shape of the path, but you are still walking it. Each stone is placed by a will higher than yours, and your only task is to step forward with courage. Do not ask why the fire burns, but learn what it tempers in you. Do not plead for ease, ask only for endurance. The plan is not to make you comfortable, but to make you capable. Steel is not made soft, it is hammered, heated, and forged. You were not born by chance. The breath you draw is proof that you are required. Look not with envy at the life of another, for their design is not yours. Yours is tailored for your soul, with trials crafted to raise you, not ruin you. When the weight is great, know this, even Atlas bowed to his burden, but he did not break. Walk on, with dignity, with calm, with the knowledge that all things unfold as they must, and that even suffering is sacred when it serves the shaping of your soul. God has a plan for you, and it is enough. Your life follows a divine order, not chaos. Every breath you take, every moment that unfolds, carries within it the weight of purpose. You are not adrift in a senseless world. The seeming randomness of events are the joy that lifts your heart, and the sorrow that weighs it down are threads in a tapestry you cannot yet see. What you call coincidence, what you call misfortune or luck, is the invisible hand of Providence placing each piece precisely where it must be. There is a plan for you, not made by men, but inscribed by a power greater than you, deeper than thought, older than time. You were not cast into this world without direction. You were summoned, in the stillness of your mind. If you quiet the noise of fear and doubt, you can feel the undercurrent of design. There is order, structure, intelligence moving beneath the surface of your daily struggles. Nothing is wasted. Even the moments that feel empty are carrying you forward. Even your mistakes are part of the architecture of growth. There is a reason behind what feels unreasonable. There is timing behind what seems delayed. The world is not cruel, it is deliberate. And you, as part of this world, are not forgotten. Consider nature. The stars rise and fall with precision. The tides answer to the moon. Seeds become trees, and seasons change in perfect rhythm. Are you any less a creation of that same force? Would the same divine reason that governs the universe leave your life to accident? You were placed where you are for a reason. The family you were born into, the trials you face, the talents you carry, all of these were chosen. They are not curses or mere luck. They are instructions. If you are willing to read them, you may not understand the shape of your story now. That is not your task. Your task is to move forward, with trust. The divine plan is not concerned with your comfort, but with your becoming. You are being shaped, not pampered. Fire does not ask the metal if it is ready. The sculptor does not ask the marble for permission. You are being formed by unseen hands, and what feels like breaking is, in truth, refining. Every hardship is a lesson. Every delay is preparation. The design is not always clear, but it is always there. Let go of the illusion that you are lost. You are not lost, you are being led. You may not know the destination, but the path has already been carved. You walk it with every choice you make, every truth you hold to, every time you rise after falling. The order of your life is not something you must create, it is something you must uncover. Trust that the plan exists, and that you are exactly where you need to be, even when it doesn't feel that way. What you call uncertainty, the divine calls guidance in disguise. Struggles are purposeful, meant to strengthen you. They are not punishments, nor are they signs that you have been abandoned. They are the tools of refinement. What appears to be a burden is often the very means by which your soul is being prepared for the weight of the life you are meant to carry. There is no greatness without hardship, no wisdom without pain, no strength without trial. To imagine a life without struggle is to imagine a life without growth, and growth is essential, for it is through becoming more than we were that we begin to approach the fullness of the plan designed for us. God does not send trials to destroy you, but to shape you. The fire is not the end. It is the beginning of transformation. You are not meant to be left as you are. You were meant to be fragile, like iron becomes steel, like stone becomes a statue. It is through pressure, through heat, through time and endurance that your true nature is drawn out. Each struggle you face reveals more of what lies within you. The strength you pray for does not arrive in easy, it arrives in resistance. You are made strong by what you overcome. Pain often speaks louder than peace. In comfort, we may forget. In adversity, we are awakened. We become alert to what matters. We begin to ask deeper questions, to search for meaning, to turn inward and upward. Struggles do not just build strength, they build clarity. They strip away illusion and reveal truth. They humble the proud and uplift the weary. They remind us that we are not in control, and yet, we are not without hope. The plan is not always gentle, but it is always intentional. When you are brought low, it is not to humiliate you, but to teach you the ground beneath your feet. When you are denied, it is not to rob you, but to redirect you. Closed doors are not for your oppressor, they are guidance. The detour is not a mistake here, it is part of the journey. You may not understand why the mountain stands before you, but know that climbing it will prepare you for heights yet unseen. The very resistance you curse today may be the reason you stand tall tomorrow. You must learn to see struggle as sacred, to endure without bitterness, to carry your pain with dignity, to persist when all seems lost. These are the marks of a soul aligned with a higher purpose. The plan for your life does not promise ease, but it does promise meaning. And if you endure, if you trust, you will find that every wound became a window, every trial a teacher. You will not be the same, and that is the point. The plan is not to keep you safe, but to make you strong, not to shelter you from the storm, but to teach you how to walk through it with faith. Do not seek comfort, seek endurance and growth. Comfort is fleeting, a temporary shelter from the deeper purpose you are meant to fulfill. It can lull the soul into stillness, into a kind of sleep where nothing changes and nothing deepens. But you were not made for ease, you were made for resilience. You were not placed on this earth merely to enjoy its softness, but to rise through its trials and become something more. God's plan for you does not revolve around keeping you safe from pain, but around making you strong enough to carry your purpose. Ease does not build strength, endurance does. It is through endurance that growth is born. The road of growth is often narrow and steep. It demands that you continue walking when your legs are tired, when the night is long, and when the destination is hidden from view. Yet, this very act of continuing, of enduring, is how you become who you are meant to be. If you choose only what is comfortable, you will stay where you are. If you embrace the discomfort of growth, you will become what you are destined to be. Pain is not the enemy, it is the messenger. It tells you where you are weak and offers you the chance to become strong. It tells you where you are still holding on to what no longer serves you and asks you to let go. Endurance is the practice of trust. It is the discipline of saying, even though I do not understand, I will continue. It is the quiet, daily choosing of strength over surrender, of movement over stagnation. It is the belief that your present struggle is part of a greater plan, one that you cannot yet see but are still a vital part of. You do not need to see the full map to trust the direction. Growth often hides behind moments that feel like failure. What breaks you open is also what makes you real. The pursuit of comfort leads to stagnation, and stagnation is the enemy of purpose. God's plan was not designed to keep you as you are, but to evolve you, to lead you, sometimes gently and sometimes forcefully, into the depths of who you truly are. Growth is not always grand or visible. Sometimes it happens in silence, here in the choice to rise again after falling, in the moment you choose faith over fear, in the patience you hold when the answer hasn't come. These moments are sacred. They are the building blocks of transformation. You must not confuse peace with comfort. True peace does not come from avoiding hardship, but from knowing that your hardships are meaningful, that they are not in vain, that even the struggle is held within the hands of the plan. Growth requires risk. It requires surrender, and it requires the willingness to be uncomfortable for a time so that you may be unshakable for a lifetime. Comfort may feel safe, but it never leads you to your highest self. Only the road of endurance does. Only the path of growth reveals the greatness that has been planted within you. Your path is unique. Comparison is folly. In a world full of distractions and noise, it is easy to look at the lives of others and measure your worth against theirs. But such a habit blinds you to the singular nature of your own journey. You were not created as a copy. You were not formed from a common mold. You are not meant to follow the same road as anyone else, for your steps are guided by a plan that was written only for you. Every experience you live through, every challenge you face, and every victory you earn has been appointed to shape your soul according to a divine design that belongs to you alone. The temptation to compare is powerful. You see others succeed while you struggle, and you wonder if you have been forgotten. You see doors open for others while yours remain shut, and you begin to question the timing of your life. But comparison is a thief, which robs you of peace, of clarity, of gratitude. It causes you to overlook the sacredness of your own process. You cannot judge your journey by the mile markers of another. Their purpose is not your purpose. Their pace is not your pace. To compare is to insult the intention behind your creation. You must understand that the plan for your life takes into account everything that you area, your strengths, your weaknesses, your wounds, your hopes. Nothing is overlooked. Every delay, every detour, every season of stillness is part of the preparation. While others may seem to move faster, it does not mean they are ahead. In truth, there is no ahead or behind when the journey is ordained. There is only your path, unfolding in its perfect time. What you see as waiting may be the very thing that prepares you for what others cannot yet carry. Each person is called to walk a road that refines them in the way they most need. For some, it is through success. For others, it is through suffering. But all are being led. You must resist the urge to measure your life against another's highlight reel. You are not them, and they are not you. Their blessings are not your losses. Your trials are not their triumphs. Every soul is being sculpted by a different hand, though the artist is the same. There is no wisdom in comparison, only confusion. It takes your eyes off what is being done in you. It distracts you from the quiet work of transformation that is happening beneath the surface of your life. Your responsibility is not to match the steps of another, but to take your own with courage and faith. You must honor your path, even when it does not resemble the one you hoped for, even when it looks nothing like the ones around you. For the plan you walk is sacred. It was written with knowledge of your heart and of the person you are meant to become. Trust it, and let others walk their own, without envy, without judgment, without fear. Suffering is sacred when it shapes the soul. It is not pleasant, and it is rarely welcomed, but it is often the instrument through which the deepest parts of your being are formed. In the framework of God's plan for your life, suffering is not meaningless. It is not random, nor is it a punishment. It is the refining fire through which your character is tested and transformed. The soul does not grow in comfort, it awakens in hardship, in suffering. Illusions are stripped away, leaving only what is true. What remains after the trial is stronger, purer, and closer to the person you were created to become. There is a depth in suffering that cannot be reached through ease. It teaches you endurance, compassion, humility, and faith. When the path is dark and the burden heavy, you are forced to look inward and upward. You begin to ask questions that prosperity never stirs. You learn to listen in silence, to lean not on your own strength but on something greater. Pain invites you into a deeper relationship with purpose. It pushes you beyond surface living and demands that you confront the essence of who you are. Through this sacred discomfort, your soul is stretched and expanded. God does not waste suffering. It is design. Every tear has a reason, every struggle a lesson. The wounds you carry are not marks of failure, they are evidence that you have lived, that you have been refined by the very trials sent to awaken your spirit. Suffering reminds you that you are not invincible, and that is not a weakness, so it is a doorway. It opens you to grace. It opens you to the truth that your strength alone is not enough, and that is where divine strength meets you. You are not meant to carry the weight alone, but in carrying it, you learn who walks beside you. The sacredness of suffering lies not in the pain itself, but in what it draws out of you. It reveals the limits of pride. It exposes what is shallow. It deepens your capacity for love and patience. It breaks the shell of self-importance and softens the heart to others who walk through fire. It builds empathy where judgment once lived. When suffering is embraced as part of the plan, it becomes a teacher, not a tormentor. It becomes the forge where the soul is formed in the likeness of something eternal. You may not understand your suffering now. You may question its purpose or plead for its end, but know that in the hidden places, it is shaping something holy. It is carving wisdom where once there was ignorance. It is planting strength where there was fear. It is calling forth the highest version of why we're not in spite of the pain, but because of it. In time, you will see that the breaking was also the blessing, that the valley was also a passage, and that the suffering was not a detour from the plan but a necessary part of it.